From the WYLN studios in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, WYLN Evening Edition at 5:30 starts right now.
Good evening. It's Tuesday, January 19th, 2016. I'm Ann Gownley. It's being called a monumental drug seizure in the city of Hazleton, and tonight 2 men are behind bars facing several drug charges. Ryan Mark Hunsinger and Ramon Lorenzo were arrested Monday night around 8:45 p.m. and were in possession of 19,200 bags of heroin worth approximately $100,000. Those 2 men are behind bars tonight on drug charges stemming from an investigation by the Hazleton Police Narcotics Unit and the Attorney General's Office. Hazleton Police Chief Jerry Speziale said these arrests are the result of an investigation into heroin trafficking in the Hazleton area that began on December 3rd of last year. Police had the pair under surveillance and conducted undercover buys. In addition to the heroin, police also found crack, powdered cocaine, marijuana, and $7,000 in cash. When the pair came back to the Hazleton area, police stopped the vehicle in the area of Tyson and Roosevelt Streets. Grizz, the department's canine, alerted police to the drugs. Mayor Jeff Cassatt called this incident a monumental seizure and was proud of the department taking these drugs off the streets.
Obviously, I was serious when we came into office that I wanted a safer city, and we're going to do everything we can to make it safer. We want the people to feel safe and be able to walk the streets. This is a great investigation. It took a couple weeks, months to put together, but it's off the streets now. We need cooperation with the people. It all starts with tips and communication between the public and the police department.
Chief Speziale said it was truly a team effort. Officials say this seizure is one of the larger seizures of heroin made by the Hazleton Narcotics Division.
We've taken 2 major players off the street, and we've taken 3 in the search warrant in December. We will continue to fight as hard as we have to, and we will work with the men and women of this department and the Attorney General's office and the DEA, our state, our federal counterparts, and we will work hard to make sure that Hazleton's a safer city, because these drugs lead to the cycle of violence and the cycle of crime.
Mayor Cassatt hopes the public will continue alerting the police if they see or hear anything suspicious. He says if you see something, say something.
If anybody sees anything out there, they should call the police. Send emails to the tip line. The texting for tip line will be up shortly, but we can't do anything without seeing it or hearing it from you first.
Hunsinger had outstanding felony drug delivery charges pending against him, while Lorenzo had an outstanding warrant out of the Hazleton Police Department. Both men remain behind bars at the Luzerne County Prison for lack of $250,000 bail. The man wanted in the November shooting in Ebervale is now behind bars after U.S. Marshals picked him up in New York City. 25-year-old Lizandy Antonio Trejo, known as Lee, was wanted on charges of aggravated assault and reckless endangerment. The shooting incident occurred on November 8th around 4:30 in the morning. According to state police, Trejo allegedly fired into a car with 3 people inside, hit the rear window, the trunk, and a rear tire. One person was grazed with a bullet and sustained a laceration. Trejo was arraigned at District Magistrate James Dixon's office this afternoon. Tonight, he is behind bars at the Luzerne County Prison in lieu of $500,000 bail. Hazleton Area School District's Police Director Frank Hacken has resigned. He said it was for personal reasons and did not elaborate. As per his contract, Hacken gave the district 60 days notice and will remain in the position until March. He's leaving after 6 months on the job. Superintendent Dr. Craig Butler said he was thoroughly surprised by his resignation.
First of all, I'd like to just thank Chief Hacken for his work. He really brought great attention to detail in a short time here and helped short up some things that needed immediate attention. I personally enjoyed working with Frank Hacken. I thought he really had his heart and soul in the district, and for personal reasons, he's choosing to vacate the district, but again, we're just so appreciative of his work.
Butler said he is going to meet with the board tonight to see what's next.
Gary, not exactly sure at this point in time. I know the board, during our executive session this evening, will be discussing options, and depending upon what comes out of that discussion, we may see some action or some sort of further discussion at the board meeting next Tuesday on the 26th.
Tonight, the district's committees are set to meet following an executive session. The head of MMI Preparatory School in Freeland will be stepping down from his position. Tom Hood has decided to take a new job as president of St. Agnes Academy and St. Dominic School in Memphis, Tennessee. Hood worked at MMI for the last 10 years, 8 of which he served as head of the school. He also served for over 20 years in the United States Army and has degrees in mechanical engineering and aeronautical engineering. Hood's last day at MMI will be June 30th. West Hazleton police are investigating an attempted burglary at 215 Winters Avenue. Police say the attempted burglary took place sometime overnight between January 14th and January 15th. An unknown suspect or suspects attempted to force their way through the rear door of the building. Anyone with information on this incident, or if you saw anything suspicious, you were asked to call the West Hazleton Police Department at 570-455-3733. All calls will remain confidential. An 18-year-old female from Wilkes-Barre was reported missing by her mother, and now the police are reaching out for the public to help. Wilkes-Barre police say Brianna Miles has been missing since January 14th. Her mother said she left their home around 4 p.m. that day with a female identified as Paris. Brianna has not answered phone calls or text messages since that time. She also left her 6-month-old child, clothes, wallets, and identification at home. She is described as a black female, approximately 5 feet 4 inches tall, 224 pounds, with black shoulder-length hair and brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a gray North Face hooded sweatshirt, pink t-shirt, gray leggings, and black Nike Air Jordan sneakers. Police ask anyone with information to call 911. Wilkes-Barre police say an officer was assaulted following a traffic stop in the Heights on Monday. Around 3 p.m., police saw a car driven by 22-year-old Maria Locklear going too slow on Sherman Street, impeding traffic. When police stopped her and asked her for her license and registration, they say she yelled at them and called 911 to complain about getting pulled over. As police were about to issue citations, 27-year-old Khalil Abrams, a passenger, approached the police car, said he was Locklear's boyfriend, and became irate. Police say Locklear then got out of the car, pushed an officer, resisted arrest, then later kicked an officer in the knees. Locklear is awaiting arraignment on aggravated assault charges and other charges. Police say Abrams will be charged with disorderly conduct. An officer was treated at Wilkes-Barre General for minor injuries and was released. A man was hit by a car and killed on the Cross Valley around 10:30 last night. It happened around 10:30 near the Plains River Street exit. Police believe he was trying to cross there. Police don't know who he is and are trying to determine that. State police at Wyoming tell WYLN News the victim is a white male in his early to mid-30s with a distinctive tattoo on his right forearm. Anyone with information should call Troop P at Wyoming at 570-697-2000. Time now for a first look at our forecast. Gary Perna is back in for Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbaczyk and is in the Weather Center with the details. Gary, what can you tell us about this upcoming storm?
Well, Ann, as you can take a look at the map there for the past 24 hours, not much really is going on yet as we wait for this snowstorm to hit our area. And already some of the numbers and timing that we told you about yesterday has already changed. Looks like now we're going to start seeing the snow more on Friday than Friday night. We'll break the storm down for you and exactly what we can expect over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and possibly even now Thursday night. We'll have all that information for you coming up in just a little bit. Ann?
Thanks, Gary. Coming up next, Hazleton's newest police chief was out speaking with the West Hazleton Crime Watch last evening. Stay tuned for all those details. That and much more still ahead here on WYLN.
You're watching WYLN News with Ann Gownley, Gary Perna, Julie Stefanovich, Paula Degnan, Chief Videographer Mike Lula, weather with meteorologist Joe Garbaczyk, sports with Eric DeBerardinis and Gabriella Justin.
Everything worthwhile is worth waiting for. A very old saying that Angelo and his wife Anna live by. At Angelo's Italian House, they prepare the tastiest of dinners and lunches on the premises. Everything lovingly made from scratch with the tastiest ingredients. Serve 4:30 to closing Tuesday to Saturday and all day Sunday. Call now, 454-9364, to book your parties, business meetings, or any other occasion, or just stop in for a good homemade lunch. Angelo's Italian House, 695 Alter Street in Hazleton. Bonissimo.
Members of the West Hazleton Crime Watch welcomed Hazleton's interim police chief, Jerry Spazzali, at last night's meeting. The chief talked about his career in law enforcement and addressed the audience on crime fighting and new technologies that are currently being used, such as phone apps where citizens can give tips to their local police departments. He also spoke to us about the importance of Crime Watch groups in the community.
This is all about work. You know, Crime Watch is so important. As I said, collaboration and partnerships with the community is imperative. Collaboration unleashes the power of the many to do what no one can do alone. We can't do it alone, the community can't do it alone. But together, imagine how much we can get and solve and do together. This is the most important component of policing in the 21st century. Data-driven, hotspot policing, working together. That is what this is all about. Us working with the community, fielding those intelligence leads that they provide us, having them as our eyes and ears and working with us. It's just a home run. This is how you solve crime and prevent crime.
Members of the Hazleton City Council were also in attendance, along with Hazleton Mayor Jeff Cassat, who said that they are one step closer on having a 24-hour accessible police department.
I did pull down the boards this week. I measured the window to have a new film covering over it, so officers could see out, and the people would be blurred on the way in. So that will be done by the end of the week as soon as the printer gets my labels printed.
The Crime Watch also made a donation to the West Hazleton Police Department to purchase a computer for its newly donated police vehicle. The West Hazleton Crime Watch group meets every third Thursday of the month at 6 p.m. at the community center. The public is welcome to attend. Coming up next, Gary Perna is back with a full look of our forecast, plus a look back at the life of cable television pioneer Irene Gans. Stay tuned.
Boy, I hope I win tonight.
Why?
It's tax time, and I have to get my taxes done.
Well, why don't you try Honest Abe's tax service? The most you'll pay is $75 to $125. They say don't stress, pay less.
What's that name again?
Honest Abe's Business and Tax Service. 310 South Church Street, Hazleton, 570-861-8297.
Hello, my name is Ken Altenbach from Team Building US. As a company that is honest and passionate about others, the ultimate mission of Team Building US is to make you a success.
Team Building US provides leadership development for people just like you and me. They offer essential training needed to build successful teams and impressive leaders. Team Building US's workshops are created and developed specifically for you or your organization.
From one person to 1,000, Team Building US has the solution.
The Greater Hazleton area lost an icon. Okay, let's take a current look at the temperatures outside right now across the nation. Not looking too bad as we get ready for this winter storm to come through our area. Temperatures out in the west, hey, they're looking pretty good. I mean, you want to be out in San Francisco at a 62, and down in Miami, 63, not looking bad, but that cold wave is already starting to come into our area. The past 24 hours, the temperatures, these are the high temperatures that we've seen, 26 in Wilkes-Barre, 26 in Selinsgrove. Hazleton's also peaked at about 26, 25 degrees as well. Now, the low temperatures, they're pretty low, at 10 in Wilkes-Barre, at 12 in Selinsgrove, 11 up in Towanda. The lowest we got here in Hazleton in the past 24 hours also came in at about a 9, so not too far off. Live radar not picking up anything right now. That's a good thing as we are here on our Tuesday, but as we move through Wednesday and into Thursday, that's when we're going to start to see some of this snowstorm start to creep into our area into Friday. Temperature right now 16 degrees with a wind chill factor of 5 degrees. At least It's not a negative number today as it was yesterday, but not looking too bad out there. Let's take a look. Here's Wednesday morning through Wednesday afternoon, and we start to see some of the clouds move in. But here's that snowstorm as it starts to come in Thursday, about 3 a.m., Thursday noon, 2 o'clock. All right, and this is part one of it, and then the loop stops at Thursday at 6 p.m. because it only predicts 48 hours out. So this is 48 hours out, and it starts to come in our area. This was wave one of what we're seeing on some of the models right now as we get ready for the snowstorm. So tonight, low temperatures not looking as bad. Not really going to see much of anything. It's going to be a clear night, 19 degrees in Wilkes-Barre, about 17 here in Hazleton, 13 out in Mount Pocono. Tomorrow's high temperature is about the same that we saw today, maybe a little warmer in some of the areas. Wilkes-Barre coming in at 31, Selinsgrove coming in at 31 as well. And they're starting to call for some snow tomorrow out in the western part of Pennsylvania, but I think that's going to be more of a scattered flurry here or there, nothing major that we can expect. So temperatures for the next 48 hours, Wednesday and Thursday, they're not looking too great. We're not really going to get above freezing in too many places. Right through Thursday night, there's Thursday at 6 a.m. Temperatures below freezing for most of our area as we get ready to welcome in our really first snowstorm of this winter season. So let's take a look at our 7-day forecast for Wednesday and Thursday. Highs of 29, see partly cloudy skies, but we're going to call snow on Friday and on Saturday. The timing right now is still a big question of when it's going to reach our area, but some of the numbers that we're looking at, we could see Friday night into Saturday. One of the models is calling for over a foot of snow already in our area late Friday into very early Saturday morning. We'll keep you updated as the time goes on and get those exact numbers for you as we move into Thursday here in our area. Stay with us. More is headed your way right after this.
WYLN TV 35 has strong ties to the community, as evident in its commitment to important causes like the American Cancer Society and Helping Hand Society tilt funds. WYLN's commitment to northeastern Pennsylvania continues with a broadcast of Hazleton's Funfest Parade and both the Christmas and St. Patrick's Day parades in Wilkes-Barre. In the summer, we broadcast the Weatherly and Giants of Spare Hill Climb, and throughout the year, we provide important community services through the broadcast of town meetings, school board meetings, election night coverage, and other events. WYLN, we're your local network.
Tune in each week to WYLN TV 35 to watch the #1 Hazleton-based broadcasted television talk show, The Storm, hosted by Tiffany Cloud. Candidates, politicians, community leaders, and more appear on The Storm when they want to be heard. New shows air Wednesdays at 8 p.m. and these additional air times. Only on WYLN TV 35. We're your local network.
The entire WYLN family is saddened by the loss of our co-founder Irene Gans. WYLN's Gary Perna has a look back at the life of a pioneer in cable television.
The greater Hazleton area lost an icon, and we at WYLN lost a family member. Mrs. Irene Gans passed away Sunday after a brief illness. During the 1950s, Mrs. Gans ran her husband's TV store on 9th Street while he worked to bring cable television to our area. Mrs. Gans ran the front office. She did billing and handled customer service for the company. During a television interview, her husband Joe said Irene was the brains behind the company. In 1954, the Gans went into the cable television business for themselves, calling the company Cable TV Incorporated, beginning in Weatherly. They eventually constructed and owned and operated cable companies here in Pennsylvania and in other states. The Ganses started WYLN TV as pioneer community television to serve the communities throughout northeastern and central Pennsylvania, including their hometown of Hazleton. Mrs. Gans had a passion for helping people. That is why she and her husband helped to found the Hazleton chapter of the American Cancer Society. Another of the co-founders, Clemmy Yamona, spoke with us today about the passing of Mrs. Gans, someone she called a dear friend.
It's with great remorse. She was such a great lady. Good Christian, good woman, wonderful mother, grandmother, and she was actually the best to the American Cancer Society. And with Irene, I found her to be a person always with reason without emotion. And she says decorum without anger and ethics above self-seeking. She was always so humble. And she was the greatest lady and never could do enough. And she worked so harmoniously with Joe for us to present the American Cancer Telethon.
Clemmy went on to say that Mrs. Gans was always willing to help out and was a kind person. Longtime family friend Don Pachens made this statement to WYLN today about the passing of Mrs. Gans. Irene Gans was an extraordinary woman. Working side by side with her husband in the early 1950s, they pioneered the early development of cable television. She was totally devoted to her family and lived a life of service to others and the community. She was one of the founders of the American Cancer Society Telethon, which has raised millions of dollars for cancer research and education. She now resides in a special place in heaven, unquote. WYLN's general manager, Barry Jayas, said, quote, "Yesterday we lost a very special woman from the WYLN family. Irene Gans left us to join her husband, Joe. I will miss her optimistic attitude and everything she did. Many people were helped through her work with the American Cancer Society, the Helping Hand Society, and many more organizations. Not sure if the words no or can't were part of her vocabulary. Her presence in a room could always be felt long before you saw her. Irene, we will miss you and will always remember you as a dear friend," unquote. Division Manager of Service Electric Cablevision Tim Trentley in a statement said, "Irene will be missed greatly by her family and friends, but also by this community. She was always so generous with her smile, time, and talent. She has been not only a friend of Service Electric Cablevision for many years, I am proud to say that she was a personal friend as well. The cable industry has lost another great individual. Service Electric Cablevision extends deepest sympathies and prayers to the Gans family," end quote. Irene was an original member of the Pennsylvania Cable Television Association's board, serving as its first secretary for the PCTA, and was inducted into the Pennsylvania Cable Pioneers Hall of Fame in Harrisburg. The Helping Hand Society building in Hazleton is also named in honor of the Gans family for all the work they did to secure the future of the school. In March of 2000, Irene Gans was one of the recipients of the Pennsylvania's Best 50 Women in Business Award. She was honored with her achievements at a reception that was held at the Hershey Lodge in May of 2000. She is preceded in death by her parents and her husband of 65 years, Joseph S. Gans. She is survived by her son, Joseph S. Gans III, daughter, Janice Gans Moisey, their spouses, and grandchildren. Mrs. Gans' viewing will be held on Wednesday from 5 to 8 p.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. The funeral will be held at St. John's Bosco Church, Route 93 in Sugarloaf Township at 10 a.m. Irene Gans was 88 years old.
If you haven't found the perfect fishing getaway, you haven't been to Captain's Cove. Located on Henderson Harbor in upstate New York, Captain's Cove offers a variety of accommodations to please just about anyone. The motel, also located on the harbor, offers a magnificent view. Enjoy free morning coffee, air-conditioned rooms, cable TV, and HBO. The cottage can accommodate up to 8 people with 3 bedrooms, a complete kitchen, washer-dryer, 2 full baths, air conditioning, and outside grill and picnic table. Call us today for rates and information at 1-800-824-FISH.
Hi, I'm Bill Washko. Join me for Let's Talk Chiropractic when our guest, Rick Ryder, professional wrestler, will be on with Dr. Stacy and Dr. John. Only on WYLN TV 35.
Tonight, WYLN will be live in Mountaintop for our 4th basketball broadcast of the season. The game will feature the Crestwood boys basketball team hosting Wyoming Valley West, the Comets 4-1 in league play, the Spartans 2-3, but you never know what will happen in Division I of the Wyoming Valley Conference. Tune in to WYLN's live broadcast of Crestwood versus Valley West tonight at 7:30. Mahanoy area boys basketball has won back-to-back district championships. This year, though, they're just fighting for a shot to play in the district playoffs. Last night, the Golden Bears hosting Tri-Valley. The first bucket of the game came on a cut and finish by Jaden Buchanan. He'd paced the Bulldogs with 18 on the night. Then penetration to draw the defender, and Justin Ziegmont patiently waiting in the corner. Looks like a three, but a foot on the line. So 2 points there. Tri-Valley up 4-3. Marcus Stajka, a strong take for the first Mahanoy field goal of the night. Then Mike Joseph on the baseline floater. Stajka and Joseph each with 11 points. Matt Yansena with 20, a game high, and the Bears win 57-45. Now we look at a collection of the best highlights from the past 7 days on the hardwood in plays of the week. Minersville girls playing team ball. Tough touch passing, and Maggie Wagoda with the finishing touch. Then we have Lord's Sierra Coleman with a pickpocket, and down the court the tough bucket through contact. Next up, GAR's Dejan Rush delivering through traffic, and Keyshawn Palmer takes the deuce along with a bruise. And finally, Levon Souls from Myers. Steal, strides, and slams, and that is your top play of the week. And finally, one of the best football players to ever come out of our area has passed away. Lou Michaels, who went to Sawyersville High School in the 50s, went on to play in the NFL for 14 seasons as a place kicker and defensive end. Michaels made 2 Pro Bowls, and in 1992 was elected to the College Football Hall of Fame. Stay tuned. Coming up, Gary Perna is in with a final look at the forecast.
For over 25 years, Whitetail Preserve Shooting Range, 118 Boulevard Road, Bloomsburg, has provided professionally designed skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields. All stations are handicap accessible with resident NRA certified shooting instructors on site. There are packages available to fit anyone's budget, restaurant and catering on site. Our facility is also available for weddings, business meetings, bachelor and private parties. Call 570-384-2314. I'm Bill Washko. I handle sales at WYLN, and I am at the American Cancer Society Telethon. I do telethons, helping hands, because I like to help the community, the local people, and the dollars that help local people, young and old.
All right, we take a look at our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow not looking too bad. Neither is Thursday, both coming in with 29s. Low temperatures are pretty low at night. But that snow's going to come in Friday and Saturday. And the way things are looking right now, Friday, at some point during the day, the timing's not perfect right now that we can read off the models. But it looks like Friday we're going to have snow. So maybe right now, somewhere between 1 or 2 o'clock, we could start to see some snow flurries move into our area, and it's going to continue through Saturday, and there's even still some possibility of something lagging behind even on Sunday as well. So we're going to have to just keep an eye on that and see, and I'm hoping that Joe Garbacik is back by the end of the week, because I'm having very stressful situations running between the weather department and the news department, and it's a back and forth. So.
But you're doing fantastic, and of course, getting this forecast out to everybody, of course. I mean, there's so many different models that are available out here. But, you know, if it's going to start Friday, early afternoon, just be careful if you're heading out. Of course, there are some basketball games, of course, scheduled here on WYLN. So stay tuned, of course, in case they're canceled, schools. So we'll keep you abreast of that. And Eric, I'm sure you'll have that on WYLN Press Box.
We'll have all the cancellations up there. We're bound to get that big snowfall to cancel some games. We've been good so far.
Yeah, we have been good so far, so I guess it's kind of a combination of everything.
We're due for it.
Be careful out there. Have a good night.